and my range is increased by 30%. What? What? Huh? What the hell? That is insane. Angelic recovery and chain boosts. Wow. Wow. That is insane.
Leave a broken world behind.
Okay, hello guys, Deathbyphiw here. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to quickly go through all the perks for every hero and what my recommendation is for each one. So the first one is Ana. We have Groggy for a minor perk, and once you get to level 2 and leveling up, you get it from doing damage, healing, killing people, whatever it may be in the game. Sleep Dart is enemies waking up are slowed for 2 seconds, and then there's Biotic Bounce as a minor perk. After exploding, Biotic Grenade bounces and explodes again for 50 damage and healing. And then the major perks, selectable at level 3, is Headhunter. Biotic Rifle can crit enemies, and using Nano Boost, cast it on Ana. So if we select the first 2 perks, which is Groggy, and we're going to select Headhunter, in this case, we can now crit. They get slept. And when they wake up, it's very slow. So both cases can come into, consideration for Ana. I would say they're not the more OP options. I would go with Biotic Bounce and Shrike to self-nano yourself. So if you're in a situation you need to heal, there you go. It bounces twice, as you can see. And if you hit your targets, they can get an additional 50 HP, or if you throw it at the enemies, they do a 50 extra damage. So here in this case, it bounces twice, which is really OP. The other option is if you're taking damage and you're in a situation where you need health, you nano a teammate and you nano yourself, and now you get nano boost, which with the double bounce on the nade, it's just extremely OP coming from an Ana main. So both options for minor and major perks are very strong, but the safer, more secure option would be going with the Biotic Grenade Bounce and Shrike to nano boost yourself and a teammate. You can't nano yourself without nanoing a teammate, so make sure there's always a teammate around you. With Baptiste, he has 2 very strong ones as well. Minor perk is Field Medicine. Immortality Field restores 80 health to nearby allies and 40 health to Baptiste when destroyed. And then there's Automated Healing, where after placing Application Matrix, your shoulder turret periodically fires up to 12 shots at allies, each restoring 25 health. Then the major is Assault Burst. Regenerate Burst grants Baptiste 20% attack speed for 4 seconds, but no longer instantly heals. Rocket Boots, while airborne from Exo Boost, use space to dash horizontal. So in this case, we're going to go with Automated Healing, and we're going to go with Rocket Boots. So in this case, now you see it's healing. Doesn't heal both targets. You have to point it at them when they're low. It goes after it picks a target. And now we have, if you're in the air, to get away. So in some situations, I would say if you need more mobility, you're getting dove a lot. It's good with BAP now. You now have a horizontal, basically a horizontal dash. And then with his amplification matrix, it can now focus on healing. You could just worry about doing damage. I think, see, in this case, you throw your thing out. When it gets destroyed, it basically heals allies for 80 HP nearby and you for 40. Now with your shift, with the Assault Burst, you don't get instant heals anymore. See, it heals over time, and they don't get instant heals, but your attack speed is insane. So I would think of going with a combo of going Automated Healing. After placing your Amplification Matrix, it heals people automatically. You can do damage, and then you Assault Burst instantly. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. Have this, then shift. The speed is just... the speed boost and the damage boost and not having to worry about healing when you ult is just going to be absolutely bonkers, in my opinion. Next up is Brig. Brig is barrier restoration. Shield bash restores 100 health to barrier shield when it hits an enemy. Morale boost. Inspire lasts 3 seconds longer when activated by whip shot. And then majors, quick fix, repair packs instantly heal an additional 35 health to critical allies. And whiplash, whip shots knockback can slam enemies into the walls, dealing 50 extra damage. So we're gonna go with barrier restoration and quick fix. So they are crit. So that just heals an extra 35 health to critical allies, and barrier restoration gets 100 HP. So I'm taking damage. If I'm up close to somebody, I get immediately 100 more back. So that's pretty strong. You know, if you're more about keeping yourself alive and sustainability, I would go with both of those options. The two options are morale boost, which inspire gets procced for 3 seconds longer when you hit a whip shot, and then whiplash, whip shots knockback can slam enemies into walls, dealing 50 extra damage. So going with both of those, basically you hit that and your inspire lasts 3 seconds longer. It also does 50 more damage. So if you're more aggressive Brig in the front line, you could use both of those options. So I think both options are really good depending on what you need for the situation. If you need more survivability, more sustainability, you go with the first two perks. If you need more damage and can also proc some healing, go with the second two perks. It's really 50-50 in my opinion. Maybe you could do a combo of both. Illari has minor perks, rapid construction, healing pile, and builds 300% faster, and its cooldown is reduced by 1.5 seconds. Summer solstice Illari's flight time during Captain Sun is increased by 3 seconds, and her flight speed is increased by 20%. Solar power, fully charged solar rifle for the major perk grants 12.5% of your maximum solar energy, overfilling up to 50%, and sunburn outburst ignites enemies, dealing an additional 70 damage over 3 seconds. So we're going to do rapid construction and solar power. So now when you put your pylon down, it builds up like almost instantly and it heals super fast. So that's really strong in my opinion. Fully charged solar rifle hits grant 12.5% of your maximum solar energy, overfilling up to 50%. So you see that little solar thing there now? It's charged. Now we go with summer solstice and we go sunburn. She's so fast right now. I would think like you really go with the second perks. And I think most Illaris will be very aggressive and be dealing more damage. I would almost do a combo, in my opinion, of going with like rapid construction and getting a healing pylon quicker. But that's, you know, my personal opinion. If you could put it in a safe spot, and then probably go with sunburn. That is just insanely OP for healing. And your Medi Blaster can crit enemies. Juno, I would go with Familiar Vitals or Hyper Boost on Minor, and we got Major as Master Blaster and Reboot. So Familiar Vitals, Pulsar Torpedoes lock onto allies 35% faster. Hyper Boost while using Glide, passing through Hyper range pushes you forward. Medi Blaster and the Major is your Medi Blaster can crit enemies, and activating Glide Boost resets double jump. So, I mean, we could take a look at them right now. So we have, they lock onto allies way faster. So now your headshots, I think, is very important on Juno. That's just super OP in my opinion. I think those are the two best ones. She already has a ton of mobility, so adding more mobility is not necessarily a requirement on Juno. So if you do reboots and hyper boost, I mean, you could use them. They could still be pretty OP in my opinion. So let's say we use your E and it pushes you forward, you really need to touch. That's where it can come in handy. But you're not going to really know that until later on in the fight, in my opinion. So later on in a game, activating glide boost resets double jump. So you need to get somewhere higher. I mean, I just think the damage on her being able to crit and lock onto enemies is the stronger option. Healing Ofuda to an ally in front of you, and shuffling Swift Step can be used again within 4 seconds of its initial cost, and Foxtrot Protection Suzu grants 40% movement speed to allies for 2 seconds. So we'll try to first do Urgent Care and Shuffling. Shuffling, so you could Swift Step twice. So initially and then twice. That is broken. That is beyond broken for Kiri, and I do not know why they added it to the game, but you can go into a fight to cleanse someone, a tank, and then almost die and then just shift out. And it resets immediately. That is insanely broken. Insanely broken. So now, like, let's say you need to go into a fight to... They say the cardinal sin on Kiri is to go in and teleport to a tank who's crit on point to save them because you can't get out. Now you can save that tank and get out. That is just insanely broken. The other two is Fortune Teller. Did I do Urgent Care? Yeah, so Fortune Teller and Foxtrot. So I didn't do Fortune Teller before, but 2 more cards. See the extra cards come out. So if I throw all my cards at this person, 2 more cards will come out. So 2 more cards come out to heal, and then Foxtrot Protection Suzu grants 40% movement speed to allies for 2 seconds. So they now have movement speed if they move. Lifeweaver has Cleansing Grasp. Lifeweaver cleanses negative effects, and while alive, regenerate 10 health per second upon death. Drop a healing seed that heals allies for 200 health. That's what he initially had in his release. And then Life Weaving Rejuvenating Dash adds 20 healing to your next healing blossom within 3 seconds. And Super Bloom Thorns detonate for extra 30 damage when enough stick within 1.5 seconds. So Life Weaver is a heal bot. So any sort of damage increase is not worth it, in my opinion. Grass, being able to life grip and cleanse someone is basically getting Kiri's ability, in my opinion. And that is really broken. It's on a 17-second cooldown. So I would say if you're next to someone and you're healing and they need it and they need a cleanse, you could just press it and be right next to you in the fight. I think that's really broken, in my opinion. So basically just added Kiri's ability. Rejuvenating Dash adds 20 healing to your next blossom within 3 seconds. So you do 100 HP. I think the healing output is just more important than being able to regenerate 10 health per second. Although life cycle, I could see if you're getting dove a lot, you can use that to your advantage. Whereas if you die, what's the point of dying on Lifeweaver? You're a heal bot and you have a 250 HP healing seed. Could be situational, but I would almost go with Cleansing Grass, being able to cleanse someone, and Thorns is just not important to do an extra 30 damage. I'm not even going to look at it because it's not even important. Soundwave's knockback is increased by 15%. Groove and regenerate 4 ammo per second while wall riding. Base Blowout by far is the better option. Being able to boop enemies by 15% more, that is going to be the best thing that you can add to Lucio's kit. You don't need to regenerate 4 ammo per second while wall riding unless you're like a Reddit Lucio in the backline and really aggressive, not healing your team. You can use that to your advantage and wall ride and just get your ammo and like basically never run out of ammo. So it could come in that situation, but most Lucios will use Base Blowout and be able to boot people back 15% more. That's just going to be broken in certain maps. His major is Noise Violation. Crossfade's range is increased by 150% while Amp It Up is active. And Accelerando, Lucio's attack speed is increased by 50% while Amp It Up is active. I think both are extremely strong in my opinion. I'll go with Base Blowout, and I'll go with Noise Cancellation, where Crossfade's range is increased by 100% while Amp It Up is active. When you're amping it up, it now has a wider range when you press your shift and you're amping it up. So not in range, right? But when I am in range, They get booped out way further now. Here we're gonna try this one here. Look at that. That's insane. So I would go with base blowout. So we'll try out both other ones. So Groovin and Accelerando. So here, Rondo. Basically, my ammo like never runs out while I'm wall riding. The whole time, my ammo just never runs out. And I amp it up. It's just insane. So if you're a very good Lucio player, which I am not at all, you could use that. Like, I think a Frogger going in the backline is just going to be broken, being able to do that much damage and just not have to reload ever. It's going to be crazy. So minor perks, Angelic Recovery for Mercy. Mercy receives 15 health per second while her staff is attached to a fully health ally. Wing Guardian Angel's range is increased by 30%. And her major is Chain Boost. Secondary fire links to a second nearby ally. A Flash Heal Resurrect can be used on your staff's active target to restore 150 health. Doing so incurs a 15-second cooldown. Wow. Just wow. Angelic Recovery and Chain Boost. Wow. Wow. That is insane. Being able to damage boost both. If you have like an Ash Sojourn or Widow Sojourn together, healing targets is still one. That is, wow, that is going to be broken. That I think is the best option. Holy crap. So let me take some damage. 15 health per second. So if I'm taking damage and I go to them and I go to heal or damage boost them, I get 15 health per second. So survivability could be increased dramatically with that. That chain boost is going to be beyond broken. Mercy might be the hard meta. Holy crap, that is insane. That is absolutely insane. Wing Reach, Guardian Angel's range is increased by 30%. And the next option is Flash Heal. Resurrect can be used on staff's active target to restore 150 health. Doing so incurs 15-second cooldown. So that heals them immediately. That is really strong too. But you can't res though. So there's an option there of being able to heal immediately for 150 HP. So here's this person. They're taking damage. That is really strong as well. And my range is increased by 30%. What? What? Huh? What the hell? That is insane. I mean, I'm gonna say my personal opinion here is if you're in a sticky situation on Mercy and you need HP, most times your teammate is not going to be full health. So I would not go with Angelic Recovery to get additional 15 health per second while your staff is attached to a full health ally. Most times if you're taking damage as Mercy, you're in a sticky situation and there's no full health ally around you. So you will take damage and it won't be enough to sustain you at 15 health per second. The better thing in a sticky situation would be Wing Reach. You're taking damage and you have this much freaking range on your Angelic Guardian Angel, on your Guardian Angel, you will get out of that situation and stay alive. I'm sorry. And Flash Heal can be OP in certain situations, but I think Chain Boost, being able to damage boost 2 targets at once, is absolutely beyond broken. So I personally would go with Wing Reach and Chain Boost, a combination of the 2 perks, and I think she will be broken beyond belief. Holy moly, that's crazy. So Moira Minor Vanish Fades duration is increased by 0.5 seconds, and Uprush Fades jump height is increased by 50%. And then her major is Ethical Nourishment Biotic Orbs. First 50 healing is instant on each ally it encounters, and contamination enemies being damaged by a biotic orb receive 25% reduced healing. So if I go with the first perk, Fade's duration is increased by 0.5 seconds. And I go with Ethical Nourishment. Biotics Orbs. First 50 healing is instant on each ally it encounters. Wow. Wow. That is insanely strong for both of those. Insanely strong. So going back to Moira's abilities, I mean, to be able to fade that far is OP. Uprush, fades jump height is increased by 50%. And contamination, enemies being damaged by biotic orb receive 25% reduced healing. The jump height is not necessary because there's different ways to get into high ground as Moira, and it's not necessary in my opinion. And this thing is only when enemies are getting damaged by it do they get healing reduction. So see how the orb quickly comes off? It doesn't have like a lasting effect on them. It's only when the orb is on them, damaging them, did they get reduced healing by 25%. I honestly would go with Vanish and Ethical Nourishment. Being able to heal someone for 50 HP instantly on Moira, and also being able to fade for a half second longer is just going to be really strong for Moira. I don't think any of them are broken, but it's going to be definitely more survivability and better healing for her. For Zenyatta, we have Zenith Kick. So your knockback distance is increased by 30%, and Ascendants activate and hold double jump to hover for up to 3 seconds. And then you have Focused Destruction for major. Secondary fire charges 20% faster and can store 1 extra orb of destruction. And Duality, Zenyatta heals Orb of Harmony targets for 20% of his damage dealt to Orb of Discord targets. Wow. So we're going to start with the first one is his kick knockback and a Focused Destruction. So here his knockback is a lot stronger now. So for survivability, that could be. So let's get a different target up here. We'll do like a Roadhog. And his basically secondary fire charges 20% faster and can store 1 extra orb of destruction. See the orbs going down? So it charges faster. So, I mean, So we'll go Ascendance. Activate and hold double jump to hover for up to 3 seconds. And Duality. Zenyatta heals Orb of Harmony targets for 20% of his damage dealt to Orb of Discard targets. So I think that is honestly the better option. Whereas you could probably go with either the kick or Ascendance. So here is like activate and hold double jump to hover for up to 3 seconds. I mean, I don't know. Whereas this is really strong though. If I put an orb on him and I do damage, they get healed more. So I would probably go with Zenith Kick, being able to knock people back to survive more. And, you know, someone's diving you and you could just kick them back further and knock them off the map. And go with Duality and be able to heal my basically Orb of Harmony heals for 20% of his damage dealt to Orb of Discord targets. So in this case, I put a Discord Orb on him and it heals more. And I think that would be better for Zenyatta. Well, you know, that's the end of this video. I think there's a lot of very strong abilities, and you can see my preferences. You probably could have better or different preferences than me in the game, but my personal play is based on the recommendation in the video. You can go ahead and do as you please and figure out. And I think this is really fun and new and great for Overwatch to have this perk system in the game. And as always, happy gaming.